Hello and welcome to the World Mixed Double Curling Championship 2013 and the final round robin day here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. My name is Sarah Carlson and once again I'm joined by American superstar curler Dean Gemmell.
A bit of a stretch, but glad to be back, Sarah.
And the feature game is a Group B matchup between Czech Republic and France. Mixed Double World Curling Championships is 27 teams divided into 3 groups. The top 2 teams of each group will go through, and also the 2 best thirds. So as you see the standings here, Czech Republic have a very important game. If they can win this, they will be looking good for playoffs. Bottom half of the B group here, you see the teams that won't make the playoffs, but they will have gained some more experience.
Some valuable experience, and they'll finish out the round and robin here tonight.
Lineup for Czech Republic: male player Tomáš Paul and female player Zuzana Hajková.
And for France, their male player is Romain Barini, and their female player is Pauline Généret. They are coached by Thomas Dufour, who many have seen at World Championships and Olympic Games skipping Team France.
He has also coached the France girl before in 2011, winning the bronze.
The bronze medal in the mixed doubles in St. Paul, Minnesota in 2011. So take that away, Sarah.
The teams both had a draw to the button before the game. Czech Republic came out on top, so they will have hammer in the first end, playing the red stones. France will play the yellow.
I believe Pauline just told Jay Merchant that she is the sun now, but I'm not entirely sure.
I am not sure either.
And I'm not sure what that means, but nonetheless we will have the opening rock of the game here. A very focused Romain Barini in the hack. They curl, they had a play down against one other team in Megève, the one sheet of dedicated curling ice in France.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about mixed doubles curling, Dean?
Yes, that was my cue, wasn't it? The mixed doubles format, different than traditional curling, of course. Played in teams of 4 instead of 2. 1 male and 1 female player with no alternates allowed. Each team has 6 stones, but 2 of those stones are placed to start the game, to start each end. The team with last rock places their stone at the back of the button, as we see in that last shot. The team without last rock places their stone as a centerline guard. Each team then delivers 5 stones, with one player delivering the first and 5th stones of the end, and the other player delivering the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stones of the end. The players can alternate positions throughout the game, from end to end throughout the game. So one player can throw 1-5 one end and 2-3-4 the next. Sweeping, as we see here, can be done by both team members. Person can thrower can follow the rock. The person in the rings can come out to sweep as well. The games are 8 ends long and 46 minutes of playing time for each team. Another thing in mixed doubles, if you blank an end, you don't retain last rock. So there's no benefit to blanking an end versus taking a single point.
So as we're getting quite used to, there's already a bunch of stones in the forefoot.
And the French first stone is in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. Even though it is Czech Republic with shot stone, Pauline certainly has a good chance of making something happen, because they have left their first in front of the tee line, which is in a usable spot.
Romain Barini urging his teammate on here.
She will get it past the guard with some lively sweeping.
Lively indeed, vigorous, lively. We talked to Tomas Dufour a bit before the game. He said his team was doing pretty well for hockey players, right?
Well, maybe not hockey players, but they do play on hockey ice, which means that this is a new experience for them, the swingy ice and the fast ice, and they just need to adapt to that.
And he said the biggest adjustment was adapting to the speed of the ice, but I imagine speed and curl is a challenge when you're used to playing on skating ice. Tomas does most of his curling in Geneva, which he says is about an hour and 15 minutes from his home.
That would be Tomas, the coach of France, rather
yes.
than the Czech.
Who just delivered a stone.
Yes, because they curl in Prague.
We saw them earlier in the week, and they've played well in a lot of games. We'll look at their stats in a little bit. So Tomas is the third-ranked male player at 77%, and Susanna is the fifth-ranked female player at 69%.
So looking at those stats, you'd think they have a pretty good chance if they make the playoffs. And they could make the playoffs if they win this game right here.
They'll certainly be in some kind of a mix if they win this game.
Yes, it is Austria and New Zealand on top of this group. But both of them are out here playing today, and Czech Republic did beat New Zealand. So they definitely would have a chance. We will, of course, update you on the other scores as we go along.
So France ended up shot rock, but the angles are good on one side, but maybe not on the other.
And Tomas Paul can see a little bit of this red, so going to come down with the hack weight and the intern side and try and push it onto the yellow. That would leave them sitting 3 or 4, I believe.
Yeah, lying at least 3. Well, I think the shooter would roll off, probably, although it doesn't. They could lie 4, and 3 would be buried behind some yellow staggered rocks. So a big shot here to set up the end for the Czech Republic. Seems like it has some curling to do. Oh, just tickling it, of course, too, takes it away for Zuzana. French electing to play a guard here.
Might be a wise call. They're sitting 1, and it looks like if they make any sort of play onto this, their yellow will go.
Yeah, with all the yellows and then reds in front of their yellow, it could quickly become an end that goes in favor of the Czech Republic.
Vitesse. Vitesse garde. Rien.
Seems confident that his guard weight.
Ouais, maintenant. Ouais. On arrête quand le curl. Oh. Jamais.
These two teams haven't played each other before. We spoke to them before. They haven't played each other in mixed doubles or in other formats.
Do you think it makes a difference if you know your opponent or not?
I am of the thought that it doesn't really make a difference. I think there maybe are some slight advantages to knowing your opponent, but so we hear so many curlers say if you play the rocks in front of you, it doesn't really matter who delivers them. I think there's certainly times when you want to know perhaps if there's a shot that somebody favors or a shot probably conversely that somebody doesn't like, but you don't have a lot of instances to force the play in curling, I find.
Run back here for Tomas Paul. Yellow, red, yellow.
Has some curling to do. He's just cleaning it if it comes up enough.
Oh, and he gets closer again. And I'm not sure that was actually too fortunate.
No, he's left the angles on the reds. Not a very good position. A high five nonetheless, but the angles are really poor now for the Czech Republic. They'd like to bring their guard around that red guard, just into the top 12. They certainly want to be wide enough that they make the intern tap difficult or not available. Watch the delivery of Romain Barini.
Vitesse.
Certainly looks good. Maybe a little soft on the intern, but this looks like a good throw. The weight seems close.
Thomas Dufour said that he had said to them that draw weight was absolute key if you want to win this game, so it seems like they've caught on fine.
So I think they have effectively taken away the intern tap, leaving the Czech Republic with, well, they may think it's still there.
Oh, it's not easy, I'll tell you that.
Oh, she's just going to throw it away.
Yep. Throw away, give up a steal. He's making her sweep.
Called for sweeping on that. The inside out turn, or in turn for a lefty. So after one end of play, it is 1 for France, and they're up 1-0. And the Czech Republic will have the hammer in the second end. So Sari asked me what I thought of competitive intelligence. What's your take on knowing your opponent?
I think you said it very wisely. Of course, it might be good to know your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, but at the end of the day, the team that makes the most shots are probably going to win the game. So you might even benefit from just being able to focus on yourself and your own stones rather than having all of that thoughts in your head about your opponent.
Yeah, curling, unlike, say, American baseball, where you can force a player to hit a pitch in a certain spot if you can get it there, you can't really force the play quite that way in curling.
And you see something that's different for Team France here, which is something that the Czechs they're going to need to be aware about. We said that they normally throw on skating ice. They're not used to this amount of curl, so their release will be a bit softer. They were taking ice for this draw all the way out on the 12-foot, which means that they might find different paths, and it's going to be important for Czech Republic to keep track on their own stones rather than looking at where France puts the broom down.
It looks to me as though Romain Barini may have thrown one of the place stones from the other end.
Yes, but no one really seems to notice.
Perhaps they've elected just to let it go. It is a yellow stone. They usually put the place stones behind the hack so they're not collected by the shooter.
But Mark Callan, ice maker, is actually out to do some hand work on the handles on that sheet, so maybe he just swapped one of the stones around.
That would make good sense if they had a problem with one of the sensor handles.
Do you think that would maybe put you off as a player if you're throwing one stone and you've been testing them, matching them, and then all of a sudden you're given another one?
Might be a bit of a concern if all of a sudden you're throwing a stone you didn't know. There's Mark Callan working on the handle. And
Either way, it was working really well for France. They made that perfect freeze, and Susanna Haikova is heavy on hers.
Considering where he put it, he might want to keep it.
We'll see if they let him.
Vitesse. Y'a plus? Oh, jamais. Sur la rouge. Oh.
Call was never, so this has obviously got some curling to do. This is well out there. We'll finish if the weight is closer, but I think it's strong. It's going to settle into the back 8-foot. Here the Czech Republic is quick to make a play on this high guard, on the placed guard. So we're going to applaud that, aren't we, Sarah?
We certainly are. You're not allowed to hit until the fourth stone, but when things are looking this way, you really want to consider it. And if you don't hit now, it's actually pretty much going to be too late. And they are going to need to do something about the situation with the yellow one locked on the button. Removing the guard will enable them to do so.
And the French will now try to guard, and we know guarding a single stone here has proven to be not an easy task.
And maybe while they play that guard, do you want to tell us what's going on the other sheets?
Sure. Well, the big game, New Zealand, Australia, on sheet B. New Zealand is out to a quick 2-0 lead. The USA is taking on Japan on sheet D, and Japan has scored 1 in the first end. USA will have hammer in the second end. And Slovenia versus Austria. Austria is up 1-0 after one end of play. I guess another play here instead of the guard would have been to lock one on their top yellow and give the Czech Republic another rock to try to work on. Then they will draw in for fourth shot with that.
And now I think Czech Republic is going to tap some things around to create some room for them to score too. As you see our Twitter hashtag WMDCC2013. Use that to post any questions you might have about the game or mixed doubles curling.
We had Ian Tetley lob a question towards us during the last game, so I'd like to hear some more. So I think that, the Czech can certainly push things to the back. They still have 3 rocks to play. Push things to the back and start to make a deuce a possibility.
Playing hack weight at this to move the angles around and really create some space. Does look like it has some curling to do.
Looks like more than hack. Ooh.
Really unfortunate.
You really needed to get some contact on that yellow one and push it over. It's still basically locked on the red. So without moving that, getting at least a piece of that yellow, it's not a very good situation for the Czech Republic. As Romain Barini stares at the situation in the house.
Je suis pas sûr qu'on en élimine 2. Je pense il y en a qu'une qui sort.
Looks like they're going to throw at the Yellowstone with a bit of weight.
Maybe trying to make a double on the reds in the back to sit 2. Should be careful though, if they split this open and maybe leave a double back, that would enable Czech Republic a multiple score. Dangerous shot here for France. They might just do what the Czech Republic was wanting to do with their previous shot.
I don't know if that was the best play to disturb that pile. And the way it was situated before, it was 2 shots for the Czech Republic to get the yellow in a position where it could be removed.
So Czech Republic could maybe throw a really hard one on the right side to just try and push the one on the lid over a bit.
Yeah, free it up for the last sit. But they're going to play a quiet hit on the rock that's on the button.
Roll to the right-hand side.
Which will be good too. I mean, it's certainly 2 yellows behind. So if France elects to play a hit on the on the shooter, if they're successful in rolling over, there's a possibility of a jam on the back.
Didn't curl enough with his previous, and being called off by Susanna. Coming down now though.
Not quite sure why they're off that.
No, but they are sitting 2, 3, and 4.
In a stagger that makes doubles difficult.
On va se prendre des contres là, non?
Looks as though the natural double would jam on one of those yellows.
And here we see it. You open up the guard. You will have some sort of possibility.
Good things start to happen when you do that, and
On en sort deux, sinon on joue le freeze.
Ah, le freeze, on va en prendre deux aussi.
Pas sûr, si on joue collé là? Ce que tu préfères?
Normal.
Normal?
for France, just saving their shooter, nose hit would be a good result.
Wait, wait! Oh, oh, oh! Wait, wait! Wait!
There are the jams, but I think she's pushed it far enough. Well, there might be a hit for two.
I think they're talking about the stones here. And I think they just, that was the last stone for France, so they forgot to switch back players.
You know, it's the problems occurred because they threw that play stone. I actually looked and was, as she was throwing, was trying to figure it out because let's listen in.
It should be the last stone, but it was played by different players. I don't know, you're the umpire.
Well, the umpires want to get the decision right, but they're...
I don't know what's in the rules. Do you think so? Is it right? Okay, so I'm playing the last row.
No, the problem is that...
No, the problem is not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a double takeout, so we can decide what.
Like, we are fine with this situation, but I don't know what we should do in the rules.
So let it be, I think, and
Okay,
we'll.
fine.
Okay.
Stay.
Yes, you know.
So the decision was made to play the last rock,
Tam koukám na ten jam, jestli tady není.
Co?
despite the fact that they threw out of order the French team.
Bah, ils sont vraiment sympas parce que...
And Barini should have thrown that one.
Snel trefit na komoru nebo malinko zprava.
So it's a no hit for two for Czech Republic.
Nyní ledu, ne? Ještě trošku.
Susanna Haikova will gather herself after that little break and chat with the umpires, and now she needs to make this nose hit for two. Just needs to hit this and stick around.
And she does. Of course, the mistake we see more often in traditional curling is somebody throwing an extra one, which usually means the player has to throw the last one who didn't throw enough. So sometimes you'll see a second have to throw a last rock when that happens, or a lead. But this situation is a little unusual.
Yeah, we have two ends played in this very important, exciting matchup. And Czech Republic will lead the game 2-1.
The officials are going to send one rock down to the other end because they used the place stone, the last one, due to the faulty sensor handle, so they've got to get that squared away. So that created a bit of confusion, but I don't think it affected the outcome too much, if at all.
No, it is Czech Republic to start off the third end, and then we're going to see Romain throw maybe another stone.
That would seem to be maybe the way the rule should go, that he would have to throw an extra one at least in this end.
Well, at least he's going to have to throw maybe another one than the actual stone that he threw in the previous end, because it was the one that was supposed to be pre-positioned.
He's already throwing only two and he got shorted.
Yeah, France being one of the few teams that actually have the women playing 2, 3, and 4.
The other team we've seen do that with greater success has been Scotland. They have Gina Aiken throwing 2, 3, 4, and Bruce Mowat throwing 1 and 5.
Well, she does have a bronze from this mixed double World Championships in 2011. Maybe a bit more experience, so they might benefit from her throwing more.
That might be the theory, why Pauline Generette is throwing last rock. Romain Barini has actually curled longer, but doesn't have a bronze medal to his name. This will be replaced. Yeah, because he didn't remove it from play. They were ready to replace it, but it stuck around in the coffin corner down there. So actually a pretty good shot.
Yeah, really
all things
good shot.
considered.
Really difficult to make.
Right, especially with that weight. To chip it into the corner and not out or touch the sideboards.
So Thomas Powell will just have to try and replace this. 25 years old, started curling 2004. Would love to come down to the face of the yellow. First they need to get it past the guard. Got it right there.
Guard, it might over curl. But as we've said all week, better there than deep, so certainly usable. Thomas Pohl catching his breath a little bit. It's often someone like you, Sarah, has played in World Championships and other events. Sometimes at the end of the week, people start to feel the effects. Maybe there's often you get sick at these events too. You have an illness you got to battle through, a cold or something.
Yeah, and that's where people like you come show the importance. Having even written a book about curling fitness might definitely help you when the championships and the weeks are so long.
This is an interesting sweep call employed by Romain Barini.
And again, with some really good results. Getting a couple of corner guards in play is definitely not bad when you have the last stone.
Chce někam rolovat tím šutrem?
Ne, chci stejné. Já to chci vzít tady, aby ten roval trochu sem a já byla na komoře.
Fajn.
So it appears the Czech Republic is going to play the straight back to lie 2.
Jako málo, ale 10.
Not big weight judging from that ice. No reason to throw big weight. You definitely want to leave your shooter and hopefully the rock that's in the top 8 foot around.
10 půl.
Slip.
10 půl.
Jojo! 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 Jojo, pojď, zaber!
And a well-executed shot by Thomas Poole.
France can maybe now try and use these corner guards by rolling in behind one of them.
Yes, rolling and sitting second shot behind a corner guard would be a good outcome here. The roll would leave them high in the rings too, which would be advantageous.
Il a que hurlé, lui, non?
Advantageous, of course, because Czech Republic can't freeze it away.
Exactly. Can't take it away with a freeze. Sounds like this rock has some finishing to do. Actually, a good result.
Well, it rolls quite far, but definitely means that Czech Republic's going to need to make a decision here. If they hit and roll, it's going to be fairly open for France to score.
So they discussed the hit and roll, but it
Ale mě se dobře rolovat ten guard.
A kam jinam, jako i ten stejno.
I ten
Ale
stejno.
on mi pak hodí freeze a jsme zase v nějakých zbytečných problémech.
Si hodí freeze, tak ho hodí, no.
Tak co chceš, take out? Stay, anebo roll dovnitř.
So after discussing the draw, they've decided to play this hit and roll, a more conservative call. They are up 2-1. I think I favor this call here, actually. The situation isn't ideal for them with no centerline guard. So they may as well, while they have an opportunity to remove one of the French counters, to take it, I think.
Definitely think they're going to be rolling. And they are questioning as though, do they benefit from that roll? Could France just, well, they won't be shot stone if they freeze to that pocket, but it definitely will be a stone that's going to be hard for Czech Republic to remove.
And perhaps a little thinner, they would have come in a little lower and pushed their own red over a bit, but a nice roll, just actually a bit unlucky with how they ended up being arranged.
So no freeze for
No.
France. Freeze
As-
for France, that's an interesting word.
No freeze for France.
They're going to hit. Could be tricky to stick around if you hit here, actually.
Yeah, I think even though they wouldn't have been shot, certainly would have been a good play to put one in front of those red stones. That was not a good result. Now the Czech has rock almost fully buried behind the corner guard, and they're going to put another one in front of that stone.
Co?
3-4, jo?
Mně se líbí prostě ho pokryt na strom.
They can tuck
Jak by řekli
a little bit
vánoční
of their
stromeček.
red stone behind the yellow corner guard. Would make it difficult to make a play either on the rock in the forefoot or
A nevím,
the
kolik
rock
ledů
they're
vůbec.
throwing now.
No, já taky ne. Si takhle. Takhle.
Směr fajn,
3, 2,
směr výborný.
3,
Můžeš, klidně můžeš.
ne, 3, 4,
Tak musím točit.
4,
Točit.
4,
Wow, jenom až k němu.
4,
Pojď
4,
sem.
Weight looks
Ne,
close,
tady.
but a lot of room.
5.
I think they're going to leave France a fairly routine double.
You could even maybe, if you're France, you could roll behind the guard. If you're not too frightened by Thomas Pauls almost falling over.
Those hacks have created problems once again. They created a problem in the last game, almost for Norway, almost there for the Czech Republic. Perhaps they are moving around.
And it looks like Thomas Dufour actually have a normal camera. Maybe he's taking pictures of the situation to discuss with the team after.
Or simply to post on Facebook.
It could also be the case.
But I think he is taking them to discuss later. There he is taking a photo right now in the background as we see Romain Barini deliver the last stone of the third end. Looking for the double to count one.
He's throwing a lot of weight.
Close, yes, makes it easily.
So tight game.
A nose hit and France, nose hit double, and France scores one to tie it up. Nobody threw out of order in that end, and there you see the score, 2-2. Czech Republic will have Hammer playing the fourth end as we approach the midway point of the game.
And we can tell you that New Zealand has a 3-0 lead over Australia after their first two ends. USA is up 3-1 on Japan. They played 3 ends, Japan with Hammer in the fourth. And Austria is leading the game 2-1 over Slovenia after 3 ends. Austria has Hammer in the fourth end. So one team with a coach and one without. Do you think it makes a difference?
Yeah, we did talk about that. I think a coach can help quite a bit in mixed doubles. About a little more than half the teams have carried a coach at this event. And it certainly seems like it's helpful for one thing in the pregame practice to be able to have a third person out on the ice to help manage stones and make the most efficient use of the time out there. And of course, during timeouts, coach is valuable. Saw Spain picked up Rebecca Atkinson of New Brunswick, who plays with plays here, and they picked her up as a coach, and I think she helped them a bit. So that rock left short, but still usable since it is short. Now we'll see if Zuzana Hajkova can lock one in here. On it early, now they're just cleaning, or Susanna is just cleaning. Starting to finish here. Just top 8 is really the ideal spot there, and that's pretty good actually. I said lock one on, didn't I? When really you want that one a little higher than that.
Yeah, it's nice to have some room if France freezes or taps. It could close you down to scoring maybe only one if you leave them too tight together, but with a bit of separation, scoring area will be a bit larger.
Doesn't look as though it lacks for weight. Tap that red. Create a bit of a pocket.
Yeah, leave the red in a usable spot for France if they could ever come down to them, but I think Czech Republic's gonna try and get there first. But of course they don't want to come behind the T line or even on the T line here, because France could just freeze away everything for them.
I think if they're just half in the forefoot here, touching the center line would be a great shot.
Remember, France still has that other yellow on the other side, on the outturn side. They could play down.
Certainly can run that in with the outturn or tap it in.
nic, podle mě nic,
malinko
jo.
delší.
Podle mě nic.
Delší.
A já se asi ani neťuknu, to asi nemá cenu.
Dozadu. A nezastavím.
This rock, though, unfortunately, not the one you want to be deep with. And that's going to leave France with an opportunity to get out of this situation with a well-placed tap or freeze. Certainly like the freeze here.
Yeah, freeze looks really good. It will maybe even make it difficult for Czech Republic to score, but you would count out all of those reds.
You don't have to be perfectly frozen, just actually touching the button would seem to accomplish what you need to. Since there's a wall of red granite behind.
Yep, just touching the button. Do you normally think it's an easy task, Dean?
No, I don't think just touching the button is usually an easy task.
But the word plus is maybe not what you want to hear here.
When you're hoping to just touch the button. Plus sounds like a little more than that. And unfortunately, it's not going to curl enough either because it had a little bit more weight. And advantages back to the Czech Republic. A quiet way to hit here to roll onto the button. They could sit 4. Made Tomas Dufour stand up in the back.
Well, even if they make this, France will still maybe be able to freeze. They'll all be still quite far down in the house, but might be time to run that yellow on the right-hand side in if Czech Republic comes in with another one here.
If the Czech Republic can roll a half rock over and take away the freeze, France will have a decision to make whether they run that yellow just touching the 8-foot on the left side into the pile.
Backline.
Hop. Já jsem venku.
Backline.
Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep.
Zuzana Haikova calls for sweeping.
Pojď, musíš.
Well, maybe a fraction too far. Does leave a freeze to that back red stone, but
They are sitting 4.
yeah, still a good result.
2 more stones to go for France.
France will be trying to freeze to a rock that is just barely exposed fully. Here it is, the second to last stone of the end for France.
Vitesse.
Jamais deux.
Oui. À fond, ligne aussi. Oui, ligne. Oui.
Calling for
Remembering,
to come and sweep.
just gets by the guard. This should be pretty good.
And it is really good.
Czech Republic quickly looking at the slash.
Slash would give them a good result, but it will also just mean that it's a really big wall for France to freeze on with their next.
Yeah, that wall certainly looks like you can put a rock in a lot of places in front of it and make it difficult to remove. It's also a possibility that they could make this slash on the low side and end up with a French rock right in front of that wall already. It would be best to hit this over the top. I'm not sure if where Susanna put her broom in terms of hitting it that will result, but I think they know that over the top is the way to play this.
Seemed a bit tight on this.
Looked a little soft with this one, yeah, a little soft on the release. Well, Leaves the French stone right directly in front of the wall of the Czech Republic.
I think France can just tap this a bit now.
They don't have to move it very far.
Même point, hein, tu sais, je veux dire.
If they just move it a little bit, it's not going to go anywhere.
Ah, on est shot.
Faut, ouais.
On est shot.
Elle a ça
Ou alors,
après.
carrément, je joue pile ici. Hein.
Sinon, t'as ça.
Alors je joue pile ici.
So the French think they're already shot rock.
Bah, si tu joues pile ici, tu sors.
I'm not really sure what they gained by removing any of those reds.
Je prends pile là.
Since this is their last stone and the Czech Republic has one to come.
Tu penses?
I mean, I guess sitting 2 wouldn't be the worst thing, but right now, if they don't disturb those reds,
Carreau, on en enlève qu'une, on reste là.
it's going to be difficult for the Czech Republic to score.
Peut-être avoir un double.
What do you think of this call, Sarah?
It's a bit surprising to me. I mean, the Reds are actually
Ouais.
helping France right now. They could just draw another one in here and actually sit 2.
Seems as though he might like the triple, and the triple can certainly make it easier to get the French redstone out. It would make them look at 2 with their last, but
if he just placed the stone just to the left of her broom there, they'd be sitting 2, and how can Czech Republic ever score if they do that?
I mean, it would be difficult for the Czech Republic to score if this rock wasn't throwing.
Oui, oui. Oui, 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 oui.
So they all go just almost far enough, but
The question is, can Czech Republic with maybe hacker board come and get rid of that yellow? Maybe even, or maybe not even touch the other one, but are they sitting second shot?
it's very close.
10, když zatočím.
Zatočíš, já bych hrál radši 11. Mně stačí ho vzít tady, podle mě.
Mně stačí lízat, podle mě. 11 a riskujeme to, že dostaneme za 2?
I think they can get to this now, and
Nechceme dát radši draw na jejich 1?
there's no way they could have played this shot if France hadn't peeled.
Já vím.
See if Thomas Dufour is going to say something to the team at the 4th in break about that shot.
He didn't have his camera out.
He didn't have his camera out to record it.
Vidím ten
I think he had gotten up and started pacing about when he saw that the end wasn't in there going too well for them, and then it really was. They were in a good position.
Nevidím, no.
Well, they are maybe sitting 2 right now.
I think if Susanna can get tight to the guard, she should be able to roll over and move the yellow far enough to score 2.
11, jo?
Question is, though, is she going to throw enough weight to do that? Last on of the 4th end for 1, possibly a deuce. Hackboard weight here from Susanna Haikova. And Tomas Paul out to sweep it.
Must be close.
Really close to the guard, and now will she have
And
it?
there's the 2.
Yes, it is. 2 for Czech Republic after a really great shot by Susanna Haikova. They will have a 2-point lead going into the break.
Well executed there. She was left that. A bit of a gift, perhaps.
See the line score there. After 4 ends played, it's Czech Republic 4, France 2. We will have a short break and be back just before the second half with a recap of the game so far. Stay tuned for that.
Here's a recap of the first 4 ends of our feature match. In the first end, France faced this situation, or the Czech Republic faced this situation, elected just to throw it away. France stole one to begin the game. In the second end, Czech Republic had a hit and stick for 2. Zuzana Haikova makes this, rolls a little bit, but still sticks around in the rings to score 2. So that was 2-1 for Czech Republic after 2 ends of play. In the third end, the Czech Republic left France this double, and Romain Barini made no mistake, hit and stick for 1. And we headed to the fourth end with France up by 1. But here's a tie game, a great shot here by Zuzana Haikova. The hit, roll, just pushes it far enough to score 2. Had to get very close to the guard and move the yellow stone just enough. So after 4 ends of play, the Czech Republic is up 4 points to 2. And will throw first in this end.
Yes, opportunity here for Czech Republic. If they can come away from this game with a win, they will definitely have a chance of making the playoffs. New Zealand and Austria on top of this group, but 2/3 of the 3 groups will move on. The best third will just go straight through based on the draw shot challenge, and then the other 2/3 will have a playoff.
So that's the third place teams in each group can get into the playoffs.
We already know that Scotland and Sweden, they are through from the C group. Norway and the Netherlands will play each other tomorrow.
Comes Romain Barini with his first in the 5th end. This looks like it had a lot of pace, and Zuzana Haikova won't even have to brush that through. So Barini, perhaps fooled, as we've seen some other players, by the 4th end break when they mop the ice, and sometimes you return and the speed is back up a little bit.
So Czech Republic can really put some pressure on here. They don't have hammer, but they've got shot stone, a center guard, they have backing, and here is Thomas Paul to lock another one on there.
Gets another one on. They have suddenly have a chance to steal 2 and at least bring the scoring area down to the smallest possible place, right around the pin. Truck needs to finish. It's going to be a little bit high side here.
Yeah, would definitely have been fine if they would have left it short, maybe top 12, 8-foot. Still though, not an ideal situation for France.
They can hit here now with their 4th stone of the end.
Would you suggest that they do so?
I really would. I think like to get some action on that, the red stone that's on the button. And if you could hit these stones right in between, even if you don't have to make the double, but at least get them moving, it'd be a good result for France.
Jamais.
Like to get to the inside of the rock that's on the in the forefoot.
Attention.
Not throwing a lot of weight, so I don't think they're getting a lot of action on that other one. But, well, they sprung their place stone off the back of it, so that's helpful. And their shooter stayed there in a spot that's tough for the Czech Republic to remove it. Of course, just a little bit high side, it should go through there.
I think they're looking at tapping it back and rolling center line.
Czech team does seem to enjoy themselves on the ice. He said Zuzana was a bit nervous before the game, but seems to have settled herself.
Yeah, definitely. I think they are a couple and they know each other pretty well, so it's good to see them having fun out there. Being a couple should mean that they like each other, so
We would hope so.
yeah, and we know they like curling, so why not enjoy yourself?
Exactly. Probably end up playing better that way.
Whoa. Hodně místa.
Měla být stejná.
Hodně místa.
Možná malinko menší.
Hodně místa.
Couples therapy sessions are available.
Jo, posouvat
Jsem malinko menší.
Nic.
Jenom 5-6.
Nic.
Jenom 5-6.
Nic.
This needs to curl though, rather than anything else.
They're just going to try to angle freeze on this.
Oh, and it's going to be a
It's
good
going to be a
one.
really good result.
And that's why they have fun.
There you go. I think they can get to this rock on the button, though, with the intern. The place stone is midway between the rings and the hog line. And even though it's over-buried, they should be able to get to it. Back line, back ring. Punch that through. And lie two.
3 pieds et demi.
C'est ça.
3 pieds et demi.
C'est ça.
Tomas Dufour, he's a coach that provides food, and he's eating some of it. Maybe he's eating all of it.
C'est à moi.
Ouais, ouais. Oui, c'est moi.
I haven't seen any for the players.
Yeah.
Fort, 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 fort.
Tomas is a different style of coach. He brings food only for the coach, perhaps. I wonder if he talked to them about their triple in the last end that handed the Czech Republic a deuce. He may not have been pleased with that and decided that he would eat the food instead.
That would be some mean coaching, if you ask me.
Yeah. He'd be a taskmaster, and I know Tomas is an awfully nice guy, so I can't imagine he would make that move. Anyways,
Czech Republic's going to make a move.
they certainly are. They did push it far enough.
I think France sitting to at the moment with a good roll here.
They won't be sitting two for long.
Přijde jako hodně ledu, ale... A ne, měla pravdu, sorry.
So any roll the inside here will certainly be a good result for the Czech Republic. They can catch on their own in the back four if they roll too big. Certainly like to leave it staggered behind the French yellow stone in the top of the forefoot.
I guess if they hit it too thick, they could get the double, but that would just leave France with a roll themselves. Seems like he's definitely rolling, though.
Same dostanu.
Right into that pocket. That rock isn't going to go anywhere quickly.
One of those teams with very firm high fives seems to be encouraging for them.
Well, if you're going to deliver a high five, you may as well deliver it with some vigor, I guess. Some enthusiasm. It's a tricky situation here for France now. They could freeze in on the button, but the rock they're freezing to is over-buried behind a Czech stone and just biting just in the forefoot. So this shot is there. It won't look that great from the hack, and they'll have to get some late finish to lock it on the right angle.
Well, looks better from this angle.
It certainly
Pauline
does.
Generate is just going to need to trust the broom.
Attention.
The word plus, I don't think you want to hear here either.
Putain, c'est parfait.
Looks like it's coming down, though.
The weight is close.
C'est court. C'est court.
So Pauline is suggesting it's short. Suggesting might be not quite what she did, but she declaring that it was short, and indeed it was.
Maybe Czech Republic can make this draw now.
Yeah, the draw is certainly there for them. If they could just bite the button here. Half buried.
Yes, and even if they show, like you said, if you show a little, it's not like their shot stone's going to go anywhere.
No.
Doufám.
They can take away this end entirely and make it very difficult for France to score. Zuzana Haikova has played very well so far. Really nice shot in the last end to score 2. That's starting to curl hard.
It's really, really breaking.
Didn't have a lot of rotation on it. I think now they're just playing hoping to bounce off here and guard it a little bit better, which is what the result is.
And it's definitely not an easy draw for France.
No, their only shot is I think the draw to enough of the button.
Après, il n'est pas impossible, hein. Faut jouer pour le
Guess they could chisel their yellow over, but that's certainly a harder shot, I think, than the draw.
On passe souvent large de la garde, hein.
They just have to treat this a bit like the straight draw to the draw for hammer at the start of the game. Although there are guards in play. It will finish enough. They will have to get fairly tight to the high guard.
Yeah, but they don't need T-line. They just need to find the side of the button. So just fairly tight to the guard and with the right weight, it should definitely come down.
Vitesse.
Assez.
Milestone of the fifth end.
Attention à la ligne.
Peut-être
Oui,
6, 5, 6.
oui, oui.
Romain Borini
Juste ligne.
Saying
leaves the
five-
button.
Saying 5-6. It looks like it needs to curl is the biggest problem, but starting to go now. 5-6 is close. If they can get it to finish. I think he's got it. Well played. Terrific shot.
You're really good.
He said 5-6 early. 7 being the T line. 6 being about where it ended up.
So the game will be a bit closer. It will be Czech Republic 1 up and with hammer in sixth end. And in a little bit of control maybe, but you never know with mixed doubles.
I'm sure the Czech Republic thought they might have had a steal there. So they have to adjust, and they have been proficient at scoring deuces with last rock though, so usually in these ends.
Do you think it could be hard to adjust when you either feel a big end coming up or you suspect a steal and then you're going to have to settle for something less?
Yeah, it is difficult. You have to regroup and remember that the outcome of a single for France in that situation was good for you if you're the Czech Republic. So you have to regroup and forget about the steal opportunity. Susanna Haikova has to remember that she didn't throw her last one all that well. She has to put that away. Because I think if she had put the last one top button, actually put it in the same position basically that Romain Barini put his last one, France would not have had the shot they did to make the steal.
No, I think Susanna has a good tactics. She says she gets nervous, but she tries to remember to breathe. And then Thomas Paul said that it's a really good thing because at least she will stay alive during the games. So they sure seem happy and friendly and supportive of each other.
Were those his words exactly?
Yes. And on the other sheets, New Zealand now with a 4-1 lead over Australia. They are starting to look good at moving through to the playoffs. USA is up 6-1 on Japan. And Austria looking good at a playoff spot as well. They are up 5-3 on Slovenia, playing the sixth end. Slovenia with hammer, we might add.
So we play the sixth end here with the Czech Republic holding a 4-3 lead. First French stone delivered in the front half of the rings, but wide. That's a good play by the Czech Republic.
Yeah, tap the yellow one back and get a little roll.
The yellow one's now exposed if they want to they have an opportunity to make a hit on it later.
And it's not anymore, no real danger for the Czech Republic. It's not anything that could be run in or tapped by France. They are going to play the in-turn draw to try and make the freeze that way.
Line looks pretty good. Get to the face of that one on the button. Maybe taps it a little further than they would have liked. Gives Czech Republic an opportunity to make a play on the stone that was just delivered and push the scoring out of the button area.
Susanna Hajkova calling the shots in the house here. She is assistant coach of the Czech wheelchair curling team. And very successful with her junior team as well. So quite experienced, even though she's a young player out here.
She's made some nice shots so far in this game. Tomas Poole working hard on this one. No shortage of encouragement from his teammate. They're going to get to the inside. And
they were trying to tap it the other way, but that certainly is okay, I believe.
Might have thrown a little less weight than they were hoping for or planning on, but it does just paper the guard. Leave them lying shot rock in the top of the forefoot. So France could freeze on top of that one or try to freeze around to the back. Freeze on top for second shot and hope for good things after that. I think she's calling for help.
Help has arrived, and now they just need to drag it all the way down.
I think this will be short, though.
Your thinking was right, as usual.
Well, the Czech Republic probably wishing they had managed to push this Yellowstone just a tiny bit further, because I don't think they can get inside on it. If you're on Twitter and you'd like to send us a message or make some comments about the 2013 World Mixed Doubles, we are hashtag WMDCC 2013, WMDCC 2013.
So I think this is another backline shot from Tomas Paul to try and find the inside of the yellow one.
Can find the inside and even roll underneath a half rock or so. He can roll. Don't think he can roll much further than that. Well, maybe he can. It's a little more exposed than I imagined. Question is, how far does he really want to roll here? Right now, I don't think the inside roll is an issue yet. Starting to move. There they go. Now they've got to work to get it by. Called off again.
Oh. And maybe a mistake calling him off.
I think Susanna Hajkova got a little aggressive with the line call. Really wanted that inside roll. And it finished enough that they managed to rub off the guard being the rock in the 8-foot belonging to the Czech Republic. Still a good situation for the Czech Republic, though. Tomas Dufour in the background seems to have finished eating.
So he should be happy then.
Should be sated.
Question is, what's France going to do?
Susanna Hajkova beating herself up a little bit there about missing that line call.
C'est ce qu'on fait d'habitude.
Look at as we watch Pauline Generet. With her last of the end and her team's
Vitesse.
second to last stone.
Oh. En plus.
Il y a plus.
Plus. Jamais, jamais.
Calls never. This is wide and heavy, I'm afraid.
Looks like this is coming down as well. They are coming out further, but have they just left Czech Republic with a roll?
Certainly a rock they can use to get in behind the guards. Maybe one they can leave in a spot where it might bring make it difficult for France or make France have to play a high risk shot and risk losing the back yellow. Let's see where they don't have to roll that far. Again, I think rolling showing just half of this stone behind the guard would be a good result.
In turn, board weight on his way from Thomas Paul.
Needs to finish for them. I think that's a terrific shot.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if they're sitting two.
Very close to line two. I think they are. Thomas Poole has played well. I don't know what his percentages are, but my intuition tells me they're good.
Yeah, I like the dynamics of the Czech team in this game. They seem to be really supportive. They're making good calls, good shots, and they just seem to have a good thing going for them right now.
Yeah, even though they're only up 1 point in the scoreboard, France is hanging around, but the Czech Republic has played well, and with the exception of Susanna Heikova's last in the fifth end, the guard that was short and overcurled, or wound up being a guard when she was trying to lock in another one to lie two in this last missed line call, they really haven't made any mistakes. France is looking, I guess, at this double. I believe the role of Thomas Poole is indeed second shot. So France right now line two. France entertaining the run back. Might be a good time for a timeout. They have a guy on their coach's bench with a bit of experience.
The run back isn't easy. It's actually a little bit buried, the stone that they're looking at running down.
Yeah, he can't see all of that rock that he's going to try to run in. He doesn't need to hit all of it, but needs to hit probably what he can see, but he has to, I think, hit all of that he can see. Taking a lot of time here.
They have a bit less, more than 3 minutes less time than Czech Republic.
So, do we know what they've elected to play here?
I think they might be playing a draw, actually.
Well, they could certainly draw in and at least cut out the top red counter that belongs to the Czech Republic. Might be able to just bury behind all that. Tough to get shot.
Yeah, but remember the draw he made in the last end to score one. Outturn this time for Romain Borini.
Trailing it, which I guess would indicate that he didn't think it was real heavy, real light out of his hand. Saying 8-9 or 10 or more or through. So Czech Republic has a draw for 3. Not the end the French team wanted here in 6.
No, if they could draw for 3 and take a 4-point lead with 2 ends to go, it will certainly look good for them.
They are having a look at this in-off on their own for a bundle. I think Susanna likes it. I like it.
I like it too. I've been eyeing it up for some time now.
I mean, the draw isn't easy. It's not an easy draw for 3, and this shot is for 5.
She needs to throw some weight at it. It's quite flat.
It's quite flat, but it's not dead flat, and she could actually make it, probably get 3 if she comes off her own and spins up. So
she could also just roll and get 3.
There's a couple of good things that happen. I like this call a lot. The draw is really hard.
Romain Borini really wants to see what the stone's going to do here.
He's taking the crouch of an American baseball umpire back there.
Last stone of the 6th end. Enough for Susanna Haikova to score 3 or 5. And
did she
Thomas
give it
Paul
a chance?
saying chicky, meaning curl.
Oh. And she a groan as it rolls just an inch or 2.
They will score a deuce, though, to give them a 3-point lead.
Heading to the 7th end.
Thomas Dufour hyperventilating in the back. Maybe he was nervous.
Should we update some other sheets?
Go ahead.
All right. A critical game on sheet B. New Zealand versus Australia. New Zealand looking for a win to stay at the top of this pool. They are up 4-2. On sheet D, we have the USA versus Japan, and the USA holds a commanding 8-1 lead in that game. And over on sheet E, we have Slovenia versus Austria, the 2012 world bronze medalists in this event, Austria, and they are up 8-3 on the Slovenians, playing the 7th end. Susanna Haikova to start things off here in the 7th end.
She's been 69% in the tournament, 5th amongst female players.
Well, she's playing well in this game. I mean, really just probably wants that last one back. At least figured, give it a chance and roll. Even if she rolls too thin there, good things might have happened. She hit it too thin and rolled over.
Oh, she'll have a nice comeback here.
She plays with some real confidence. She's a confident player and making a lot of shots. Remember, Borini, there you see his tournament accuracy, 52%. Viewers should remember that I think stats, it's about your typical player will be 10 to 15% lower in this format than in others, and we see our top ranked male players are just into the 80s.
He seems to throw the first stones with pretty much hack weight every time. I think it might be the strategy that they would just want to get some real big separation from the beginning.
And it's not a terrible strategy.
No.
We've talked a lot about whether the team with last rock should play the tick on the guard with their first. He certainly moves the stones around and gets a chance to open up the scoring area, which is, again, seems critical in this format. We'll have to talk to Thomas Dufour and see if that is indeed what they were trying to do. Just a quick update on sheet B, because that game's an important one. New Zealand grabbed a single in the 6th end to go up 5-2. There's Tomas Paul, 77% for the tournament.
No, he's actually 3rd amongst male players. And the fact that he is really sweeping his stones might be helping. Of course, we said that stats are lower because you have no sweepers.
Yeah, he is. He's quick to get after his own stone, and it does seem to make a difference. He's a little short with that, but still a pretty good position.
But now if France can actually get to this, they could maybe be sitting 3 and all spread out.
They could. They can probably see a thin half of it. See if Pauline Jeanneret can throw this with the same weight that her teammate has been throwing.
She's certainly looking good on this one. Won't tap it all the way through, but it will now be more exposed.
So the Czech Republic will go to work on some of these other stones in the rings that are the wrong color for them.
If they can hit and roll here, I mean, they will probably be spot on the tee line. But sitting two and lined up behind some guards.
You saw Thomas Poole make a great roll in the last end that really set up the deuce and even a possibility of a 5 in the end when it came down the last rock. So he's looking for a roll here. Wants to keep the roll in front of the tee line as much so he can't roll too far. The sweeping call makes a roll seem unlikely.
Could have almost gotten the double the other way.
They were trying. They were hoping it would come up just another inch or so and make that double. Susanna groaned a bit as it went right through that hole. It's a tough hole to get one through.
Certainly is good to see the players show some emotion.
I'm all for that in curling, to see a little bit of emotion. I believe that as long as it's not distracting to the other team, there's no reason not to show emotion on the ice.
Are you an emotional player?
I can be at times an emotional player. Indeed, I can, Sarah. Probably worse in my Monday night club league when I skip than anything else.
Well, I guess France can't tap this back in set 3. Their problem is, though, that they're going to be behind the guards and behind the tee line, enabling Czech Republic to freeze away what they've got going for them. But I guess it's at least going to make Czech Republic throw a more complicated shot.
Yes, indeed. Marini needs some sweeping here. Sweep that right out. Rex on the guard. Now the Czech has a decision to make here. They could start counting down France and nurse this 3-point lead, but I think they're going to play the draw and lie 2.
Yes, they are. So, going offense for defense?
Exactly. I mean, it's in this format, it's probably the right call. I think if you had a 3-point lead in traditional curling, you might hit that stone in the 12-foot. Maybe try to roll over. But it would also feel a bit like you're simply conceding a deuce, so.
Yeah, well, they have been looking very confident, and they might just feel like putting more pressure on France.
But I like this call here. You know, I think the 2 at the back and mixed doubles aren't a real concern yet. You should be able to get some draws in here that will, you know, eliminate those from scoring. Certainly don't want to be short of those with this, though. They're really having to go on this. Thomas Powell was quick to sweep, but he might have needed to be out there even a little quicker. And that's probably not the best. Well, the fortunate thing for them is it covers that red stone of theirs in the back 4 just a little bit more, but I think France can get to it.
They are looking at doubling away the guards. I think they might need to come down.
They are. I think I would make a play on that red stone at the back 4. It's certainly available. Might be able to sit 3.
Normal.
See if Coach Dufour is recording this for posterity. He's either doing that or he's reviewing photos on his card from his trip so far in Fredericton. I think he's recording this.
The French seems to play a lot of draws and then some unexpected peels.
That's an excellent point, Sarah. It does seem like a peel sort of when you least expect it. And I certainly don't think that the peel here is going to help them a whole lot. Does open it up. And the Czech Republic basically faces the same situation. Susanna Heikovic confidently tapping the top four.
They're going to draw in and sit two here, and if she can just get half buried.
She's going to show her partner on and off the ice that she's going to be able to draw for second shot when he couldn't. So as long as she's second shot here and doesn't leave an easy double, France will be limited to one.
Mind you, though, if she does leave a double, potential score of 3 for France.
She'd have to throw it pretty badly to end up leaving the double, though, right? I mean, this is actually the rare instance, too, where she could be a little bit deep, you know, and wouldn't hurt herself too much. Just wants to make sure she's second shot.
Yeah, definitely. They don't need to steal. If they can just keep France to scoring 1, they will have hammer and be 2 up.
This rock does have some curling to do, though. Just as I say, it's tough to leave the double. She gets close to doing that. Is there enough room by the guard to make that double?
I don't think you can make it with a lot of weight, but I think it might be there.
He's looking at it. Romain Barini. I think it is available. A finesse double for 3.
They are going to draw. While they do that, we can tell you that USA beat Japan 8 shots to 1.
So that's the last game of the event for both those teams.
Yeah, they will both end up at 4-4.
So they're playing the straight draw. I think the quiet hit for 2, quiet double might have been available. Well, I'm not sure.
Vitesse bonne, vitesse okay.
Remember, Barini up with it, ready to sweep. Has to move a bit. He's saying plus again, which hasn't been the best call to hear from him if you're his teammate.
No, they will limit the Czech to just 1, but still a steal for Czech Republic. They will have quite a big lead before the final end. 7-3, 4 points up for Czech Republic, but hammer France in the 8th end, possibly the final end of the game.
Well, we did update you on the USA-Japan game. That game is over with USA leading up winning that one 10-1. Slovenia against Austria over on sheet E. Austria up 8-4, and with hammer in the 8th end, so they're fully in control of that game. The most important game in the standings is Australia versus New Zealand, the Pacific Battle, and the score there is in the 7th end 5-2 for New Zealand. As we look at that sheet, though, Australia has the hammer, and there has an opportunity to maybe score multiple points here.
We will, of course, get back to you when we know what happened. As Susanna Heikova and Thomas Paul looking to make sure that they still have a place in this tournament. I think we're going to see them throw some peels now. They have been throwing hits. And there's the first of the 2 games we talked about over. Austria beat Slovenia, so they will be going through to the playoffs.
So Austria, perhaps a reflection of the value of gaining experience in this event. Bronze medalists last year, through their pool into the playoffs. Romain Barini with his first. Again, doesn't look as though this lacks for weight. So Czech fully in control of this game.
Yeah, if you need to score 4 or more, that certainly is not what you want to do with your first stone. Czech coming round the other side now with Thomas Powell's first stone of the end.
So I would assume we will see the Czech Republic try to draw another one in, close down the scoring area, and then start peeling and hitting. I really like the game they call, actually, throughout. I think they've made a lot of smart calls. Almost made the big double for 5.
Yeah, they seem to be good at switching between being aggressive and then knowing when it's time to try and get out of it.
Right, when to bail out. And I think it's a reflection of the fact that they may play this format a bit more, but they seem as confident as any team out here in which shot to call.
And also that execution is definitely helping them.
Yes. France figuring out a score 4.
Enlève la garde. Normal.
Over on sheet B,
On va dessus, faut qu'on mette 4 alors.
Australia just made the game a bit closer. They scored 2. They will be down 1 point without hammer
Point. Là-dessus.
in the 8th end.
So the last French discussion there on the microphones was a reminder from Pauline Générette that to her teammate Romain Barini that they needed 4 points here.
That certainly is a good thing to know if you're France.
They need it's good communication, anyways. But okay, now I'm going to imagine that the Czech Republic will start to hit some stones. They're going to hit that.
Yeah, their other red is just locked on that yellow, so I find it difficult to see that France is going to be able to score on that one.
I think if Thomas Poole can remove this, the game is effectively over. They're actually looking at slashing it onto their own red and making the double and ending the game right here. I don't know exactly what they're saying, but I think Tomas wants to throw this double to win the game, and Susanna might be thinking just get rid of 1 and we'll... And even if he jams it over directly on the red, that back yellow is going to be departing the rings quickly. Not throwing really big weight at it. I thought he might throw peel. I think Susanna just elected to play the straight nose hit.
Well, still enough stones for France to possibly win this, but it's definitely looking in favor of Czech Republic right now.
Yeah, they may have 3 stones left, but I really see no way they can make that red stone in front of the yellow in the back 4 go away without losing their yellow as well. At this point, they might get 1 in the wings, I guess, that would allow them to do that. If we're going to consider exciting but perhaps unlikely scenarios.
Vitesse.
Il y a plus.
Ouais, 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 ouais.
Well, now the Czech Republic can certainly hit that open stone and end the game. So, Tomas Paul getting to the other end with some haste, knowing that a victory here and a spot in the playoffs is available.
Well, it would get them a tiebreaker, I believe.
Yeah, maybe not the playoffs, but in the mix for the playoffs, let's put it that way. They probably want their shootout score back a bit, I guess. Actually, they're 8th ranked in their pool when it comes to shootout. So that was not there. That may not serve them well in the tiebreaker scenarios, but they win this game, and they're headed for more games. We'll see how it unfolds, but they're definitely headed for more games. Well played by the Czech Republic. They looked really solid in that game. Sarah will be going down to the ice level to interview the winning Czech Republic team, and we'll have a recap of the last 4 ends of this game for you in just a moment. There's the line score, 7-3, Czech Republic over France. Here's a recap of the last 4 ends of the Czech Republic victory over France. In the 5th end, Czech Republic lying 1 on the back button there. And France drew down to lay shot rock. A tough draw around a wide guard. Threw it just to the tee line, and it finished up just enough to allow France to score 1 and stay within striking distance in this game. In the 6th end, Czech Republic here trying this in off to score 5. Just doesn't come up enough. They will have to be content with the 2 in the top 4 foot. And they head to the 7th end. The Czech Republic lying 2 as France goes to throw their last. Romain Barini having to draw the button, a little strong, and he will come to the 2nd Czech Republic counter, but leave them lying 1. So the Czech Republic headed to the final end up 7-3, fully in control of the game. Thomas Paul had an open hit here to run the French team out of rocks. And there it is. That was good enough for the win, and a 7-3 victory for the Czech Republic over France. They'll head to tiebreakers, and hopefully for them, they'd like to get into the playoffs through those. Our interview with the winning Czech Republic team is coming up.
Rosanna and Paul, congratulations. Yeah, that's your last name, sorry. You look really confident out there on the ice. What did you do to create that?
Actually, even though we lost in the morning, we knew that this game is still open. Against Austria, we had a good game, so we knew that if we are going to play the same, it could be really nice win against France. Yeah. Because Austria is still a little better than France.
And you seem to be really efficient with scoring multiple points when you have hammer. What is in your tactics creates that for you?
Like, I don't know, it was tactics. I think it was only making shots. For example, hit and rolls were really good. I made a lot of them, so it can be the reason for the deuces. Yeah.
Definitely, and you are moving on into this competition. What are you taking with you from this game until the next stages?
It was like that we were still up. We were able to score 2. We weren't able to do it before. So that's we know that we are good in advantage too. That might be important in other games.
Well, thank you very much and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.